Hey guys, it's Moo. Welcome back to another episode of my Summoner's Greed walkthrough. Today, when I recorded this video, I didn't have a chance to actually record myself, so I'm just gonna walk you through what I did today. Basically, I acquired a bunch of fish coins by farming it on Wave 9 using Pico's magic, like I talked about at the end of the last video. And here I'm just leveling up my cats pretty evenly. I am focusing on the diagonal and up and down cat more so than my side buffing cat. The reason why is because I'm really the main point is to buff my middle carry here and the middle carry down here. So both of these cats will be buffing both of these both of these monsters versus our side cat is only buffing our one monster at the top. So I think it's less important because of that. So I stopped it at 100 over here for side cat, and then I'm increasing these evenly until I don't have any more fish coins left. So you can just see here I'm going through that. I'm just gonna speed. Oh, I sped up a little bit too much. Okay, so yeah, it ended around 230, level 239 for both of them, and now um, I'm just going back to setup on Meat of Matter. So I'm just gonna have my setup here, just like I did last time, putting on the charms. So I'm putting King Slime here, and then I'm just taking off O'Hare because, like I said before, O'Hare is not actually that strong. It's just the best carry you have for the cat challenge maps. So I'm putting my Orc Hunter here, and I'm gonna put my two charms. I only have two charms right now on my two front monsters because they're the ones that are actually going to be attacking my Slime King. Even if I put my speed boost, attack speed charm on him, it doesn't actually do the special attack more often anyways. You would need the cooldown charm for that, which you only get from Meat and Matter map anyway. So it's impossible to have it at this stage of the game. So that's why I'm putting the two charms on the top two instead of King Slime. If I had, an attack boost charm, then I would put that on King Slime because King Slime is still doing the vast majority of the damage. Considering my setup, I'm adding both Mighty and Speedy onto King Slime, and it has the up and down, and diagonal cats. So it is the most buffed monster on the field right now, and you can see I'm just going through it. I'm just going to skip ahead here. You don't have to watch it. Basically, you can see that with these buffed cats at level 239, uh, and then remember, all of them were already at 1 gold star in terms of the levels of it. Sorry, the number of stars. So, like I said previously, you need to at least 2 silver stars on the diagonal cat in order for it to work, as per Mrs. Flamey's beginner guide. So that's what I was basing everything off of. And then I'm just gonna skip ahead, and what you'll see is that I'm just typing over here. So I'm already seeing that I'm about to beat this level. So I'm just giving some heads up in terms of what's coming up next. So basically, in order to beat JR Nightmare, which is the last map before Meat of Matter Hard, we need either the 3 gold buffing cats plus Felina, or we can have specific mythicals. So is a list that you can see on Mrs. Flamey's beginner guide again. There's a few mythicals that can actually beat it in place of Felina, and much easier as well. So basically, we can try to get those as well. And because of that, my goal is to, after I beat this, is to run Pico's Magic JR again to farm more orbs in order to get the 3 gold buffing cats, right? Um, and then, yeah, I'm just typing a little bit more. So I'm getting really close. And remember, I said that the Meet Matter normal map is one of the only maps, or one of it's the earliest map that you can play to get a cooldown reduction charm, which is really important on Felina in order to beat JR Nightmare. So once I get to level wave 60 here, I'm going to re-roll for it. So you'll see here, I'm doing the same method again. So once I get to wave 60 here, I'm going to close the game here in order to do a hard reset. I was just checking to make sure I was connected to Facebook when I did that, so that the hard reset would actually work. And then now I'm going to load back into the game and disconnect from Facebook so that in case I don't get the cooldown reduction charm, then I will just, uh, roll back the to the previous setting, which is right here, so that I can once again beat wave 60 and then uh, re-roll for the charm that I want, which is the cooldown reduction charm. All right. So we can just watch us, defeat the boss here. That's probably the most satisfying part of the map anyways. So yeah, there you go. The rest of it is easy. It's just the normal enemies now. The boss is already done with. So it's time to get our charm. So I'm just going to skip ahead, and you can see my very first time. I didn't even have to re-roll once again. So this is me being happy. Wow, I didn't have to re-roll again. So if you remember from the previous episode, I was going to re-roll for a coin buff charm, this one, but I also didn't actually have to re-roll it. My very first time trying to get the charm, I got it, so I didn't have to re-roll at all. And now you can see, because we beat Meet Matter normal, now all of the mythical weekly quests have been unlocked. So this is super important in order to get mythical gems, so that you can actually get mythical monsters, which are what you need for endgame, because they're the most powerful monsters in the game. So that's basically what you need. And now, because I was able to beat the map as well as get the charm that I want, I just, you know, uh, saved the file as the current file so I could keep what I got, basically. So I'm just going to move forward. This is, I was just planning on beating the next map here. But then I changed my mind because I'm thinking that actually, now that I have access, I can. Okay, so you can see if you just click on follow on Instagram and then you go back, you don't actually have to follow on Instagram, and you'll get the free 100 gems. So I'm trying to do a pity reroll, but it actually isn't a pity reroll because I only have 900 gems, and in order to get a pity reroll, it's actually on roll 15 to 20. So um, I can't actually do a pity reroll, but thankfully, at least I um, disconnected from Facebook here, right? I made sure just then, so that if I don't get anything here, I'll just go back and get my mythical gems back, and then I would farm for mythical gems, by actually completing the weekly missions. And then once I get 1500, or more like better would be to get 2,000 gems. That way I can have 20 rolls. That way I can get the mythical that I want. But what happened was, on my ninth roll, I got Thor. So Thor is one of the mythical monsters that Mrs. Flamey said that actually would be able to defeat JR Nightmare in place of Felina. So, yeah, I'm just being happy again in all caps, saying that I didn't even need to have the pity reroll, because this is just a straight up roll. Like, it's not a reroll, it's not a pity reroll. It's just literally getting Thor by rolling 9 times. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. Yeah, so of course I'm gonna keep that again. So I'm going to connect to Facebook here, and then I'm going to click on current save here so that I keep that Thor. So Now I'm going to instead pivot because I don't need, you know, I don't need Felina anymore to basically get to mid game, which is to be able to beat Nightmare. The reason why this is what I consider mid game is because in order to maximize the mythical gem weekly quests, one of them is to beat JR Nightmare. So if you aren't able to beat JR Nightmare, then you can't maximize the amount of mythical gems that you get every week. So that's why that's important. The very last map, the Meet Matter Hard, isn't one of the maps that you have to beat for mythical gems. So it's not actually that important in terms of, your weekly grind. It's just more of an achievement to be able to beat Meet Matter Hard as part of your, end goals, right? So now I'm just reworking uh, my monsters because what I want to do is basically put Thor into here, and I just leveled him up as much as I could with the amount of gold I had, which I got it to level 266. So what that means now is I'm just going to set up JR normal Pico's magic to farm um, more gold so that I can get Thor to max level 400 minus the power stones, right? So I'm not going to get him to 500, but hopefully at 400 with an additional, with the buffing cats. And hopefully even higher star level because I'm going to be getting a bunch of green orbs from farming Pico's magic. He's able to defeat JR Nightmare, which is what Mrs. Flamey is saying. So she doesn't actually say exactly what the setup is. I'm just assuming it's going to be something like that with Thor at the front because Thor actually isn't a monster that hits globally like Felina, for example, or Slime King. So usually I think you would put him at the top here because this is your main damage carrier. So yeah. So I'm on King normal again, just farming 1-4 so that I can get the monitors until I get the coin buff charm so I can start setting up Pico's magic. This time I'm not so lucky. You can see I go through this many, 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 many times. In every other video that I've posted so far, I got it in like the first 2 tries, which is insane. Because as you can see here, I just keep on going, keep on going. Yeah, I don't know how many times that was, to be honest, but yeah, I finally got it here. So there's the coin buff 4 times, and now I can finally start JR normal. And I put the lucky charm on my Thor because the main point of this map is to farm more gold. So, and he doesn't have to be strong to defeat the first, 2 little mini bosses here. So. And here I'm just running it to make sure that Thor is a good replacement for my Infernus that I had here before when I created the macro. So the main thing I'm looking for is to make sure that he defeats the first 2 mini bosses before the timer resets the map. So you can see he already did that. And now it works. So I just confirmed that everything's good. And so I'm just going to leave it at that for tonight. I'm just going to let this run overnight and I'll have a bunch of gold and a bunch of green orbs, and then I will summon those tomorrow, and then I will attempt to defeat King Nightmare as well as JR Nightmare, and then I will have successfully gotten to mid game. After that, I'm going to basically the plan would be to get a few more charms, probably by just um, running JR normal because it's one of the fastest maps to get a bunch of charms, and then I'll start doing Masters Challenge, and then after that, then I'll have to do uh, Evil Summoner, and then I'll basically be at endgame because at that point, to beat Evil Summoner, you're gonna need to have some mythical monsters, and in order to have those specific monsters, you basically need to wait until those mythical monsters show up in terms of like their weekly availability. So At that point, I might end this series because you're basically at endgame. Everyone knows how to play endgame. It's just a matter of getting the specific mythical monsters by re-rolling, and then there's not much else to do. And then you're at the stage of where I basically am in my main account. All right. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.